Hello, welcome back to another episode on Red Foxy. If you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on new content.
I, 24 male, walked in on something horrifying with my girlfriend, 23 female, and 2 friends, 23 male/female. Please help me. I've been seeing my girlfriend Laura for a year. She's fantastic, and we adore one another. I'd known Jake and Shelley for 2 years. We weren't close at first since I met them via my circle of friends, but now we're quite close. They love my girlfriend and spend more time with her than with me. Once, they even informed me that if we split up, they would choose her side over mine, despite the fact that I've known them longer. Anyway, I'll go right to it. Laura had just graduated from college and wanted to celebrate. Let me begin by mentioning that she never drinks. I believe she's only drunk once or twice in the year I've known her, and that's because my circle of friends sort of forced her to. She can't take booze since she's so little and has no tolerance. This will come in handy later. So Jake and Shelley invite her to their house when I'm at work, and I am unable to go. The idea was for them to pick her up and drive her to their apartment, then for me to pick her up after work so she wouldn't drink and drive or have to stay the night. Everything is okay. I trust them, and I know they are experienced drinkers who would keep an eye on her. I leave work at 2 a.m. and go over to their house. I knew Laura was intoxicated at this point because of the messages I was receiving from her, so I knew I had to take care of her. But then I arrived to their home and discover something horrible. Laura is unconscious on the ground, Shelley is on top of her, making out with her, and Jake is filming everything on his phone. I panic out and ask him what is going on. Then I grab his phone and erase the videos and photographs. He chuckles and claims it was all a prank, that they took the images to mock Laura and play a joke on her in the morning. I take her up from the ground and we walk away. Guys, she was so inebriated she couldn't even walk. She was puking all the time, weeping all the time, and couldn't see straight, while my mates were absolutely sober. What the heck is this? I put her to bed and then got a text from Shelley stating I shouldn't be upset since it was all a joke. I respond that they took advantage of her, and she agrees, but claims they did it in a pleasant manner so she could let free and have fun since she is constantly studying. I was so horrified that I didn't respond and spent the whole night caring for Laura, since she wouldn't stop vomiting. Laura gets a slew of text messages from them the following day, berating her for getting them into trouble. They claim she's an adult woman who can handle her own errors, that they don't care what I think about what they did, that I'm a little, and that it's all her responsibility, since she forced them to make the video. If you could see how incoherent and blacked out my partner was, you'd realize she couldn't even get up, much alone push anybody to do anything. She's been sobbing all day, going back and forth between yes, it was all her fault, and no, they were filthy. They continue to chastise and ridicule me for being furious, claiming that I am overreacting to a simple prank that they were planning to perform on her. I'm at a loss on what to do. Please help. Am I mistaken? Because I don't believe I am, but Jake and Shelley are circulating tales about it, portraying me as a possessive, controlling jerk and my girlfriend as a stupid drunk who forced them to behave poorly. Update. For many days after the event, they phoned my girlfriend repeatedly, blaming her and telling her it was her fault. She could reveal to them that she was blackout drunk and couldn't remember anything, and they jumped on that knowledge by feeding her fake tales about what really occurred, and accusing me of lying and being a controlling jerk who just wanted to separate her from her genuine friends. They then proceeded to tell her horrible stories about my past, that I did drugs when I was 18, for God's sake, that I was once arrested for drunk driving, a mistake I admitted to as soon as she and I met, and she was aware of it from the start, that I've slept with multiple women, and that Laura is just another number to me. Guys, I'll confess that I used to be a party animal with a horrible history, but I'm a different guy now, and I love my fiancée with all of my heart. It stunned that they were using my history against me to get her to join their cause, so I advised her to go to the police station and submit a complaint, and she consented. They flipped when she told them to stop pestering her out. They came to our home late at night to attempt to speak to her. They left snacks and gifts for her at our door, and they even enlisted the help of her parents. Her parents are not fools, and as soon as I informed her what they did to Laura, she barred them from the home and threatened to call the cops if they returned. It was a bizarre situation, given that they left handwritten messages for her parents to read, marked "Love, your beloved son and daughter." Laura spent several nights in my arms, sobbing with remorse and uncertainty. After weeks of harassment, we went to the police station and filed a case. She didn't want to pursue charges. I'm working on rebuilding her self-esteem so she can do it if she ever wants to. The cops told her that she has enough evidence to bring charges against them, since she had the messages in which they acknowledged to taking advantage of her, and that if she does, they can take their phones and check for their video. I'm still not sure how it would work, but I'm not going to argue with it. Laura only wanted to submit a report so that if anything were to happen in the future, there would be a paper trail. She's thinking about getting a restraining order against them, but they've stopped and gone quiet. We have lost touch with them and any other friends who believe their falsehoods. Laura is in treatment and is gradually coming to terms with the fact that she was attacked, and I sometimes accompany her to encourage her. The most difficult aspect for her is not feeling like it's her responsibility. She brings up the fact that she was intoxicated and that if she hadn't been so drunk, it might all have been averted. It is not her fault, I constantly tell her. We'll see if she decides to pursue charges. I can't make her do anything she doesn't want to do, but I will back her in anything she decides. So there you have it. I'm not sure what to make of the chaos that ensued that night. I'm not sure why they went insane, leaving her letters and presents and attempting to contact her parents. Could one of you explain it to me? Story 2. Wife cheated. I'm filled with so much rage. We have been together for 13 years and married for 7. Then, when pregnant with our kid, she had an emotional and physical affair with a colleague. D-Day occurred when he was 1 month old. Yes, he is mine. I took the paternity test. After fitting the puzzle pieces together, I discovered she had gone to visit AP while I was at home with our oldest kid. While we were in the hospital for her C-section, she texted AP and told him she loved him. I'm astonished and outraged about everything, particularly because it happened when I was pregnant. I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, such as arriving home early from work so she could attend to prenatal yoga and generally being helpful. But now I'm tired of it. So outraged that even while she was having an affair, she had the audacity to complain to me that I wasn't getting the baby room ready quickly enough. She told me she didn't want to be intimate with me throughout her pregnancy because she was having an affair. I assumed she didn't want to get intimate since, I'm pregnant and I'm not feeling it. I thought I was being helpful. We went to a handful of marital therapy sessions for reasons I'm not sure of. During our session, she told me, you need to view me as a co-parent, not a love partner. She's simply so frigid and seems as if she doesn't care what she done. Then I did something I shouldn't have done. I read some of her messages to AP. She was calling me toxic for being so upset about the incident and overall whining about me to AP. My son triggers me, and although it has gotten easier, it is still difficult to know he was there. My wife informed AP about my difficulties, and AP said, "Law, does he even know how to be a father?" This was mentioned by the man who was up with my pregnant wife. We've been living apart for a few months, but the rage remains intense. I become overwhelmed by everything at times. How can I ever accept this man being a part of my children's life after all he's done and said? Update. I had had a significant back injury, herniated disc, a year before the romance began. I'm aware that I wasn't present at the time. I was having difficulty walking for a few months. After work, I'd pretty much just come home and fall on the sofa to attempt to get some relief from the agony. I no longer sleep in our bed. Something about it aggravated my suffering. She began doing almost all of the housework. It clearly had an impact on my mental health. But what stings the most is that when we chatted after the affair, she remarked, "I don't believe you appreciate how difficult it was for me. I couldn't even walk, yet she struggled. I still needed you to support me," she said. I'm talking about, okay, I understand it. But I suppose that simply makes me feel bad for not being there throughout my own struggle. It made me feel as though, no matter what I was going through, I had to be her support person when I needed aid and support. But I suppose the silver lining is that I now know she couldn't help me in my hour of need. I think I feel like I'm only worth staying around when I'm at my best. Or maybe it's my fault and I'm simply making an excuse for my back problem.